I'm Scarlet Desorgher. I'm joined by Freya Atkins. Freya, first off, tell me about your manifesto.
Hi, well, I'm Freya. I'm running to be your Disabled Students Officer, and the main goal of my manifesto, I suppose, is improving the entire experience of disabled students at the Uni of York. I think we've been let down a bit for a bit too long, and I think it's time that we made ourselves known and proud and so engaged with the disabled community, because I think that can only enrich not only the student body but then the industries we're going after, and to me that's really exciting.
And give me the main ways you're planning on doing that.
So at the moment my main points on my manifesto are to improve the use of student support plans. I think they need to be signed or acknowledge that they've been read, especially within departments where there's multiple lecturers. I've been into too many seminars where they don't know I'm visually impaired, and that's a disadvantage to my education that I'm paying a lot of money for. My second one is to sort of expand the disabled student network. I want a feeling of community and pride. I want students to be able to say, yes, I have a disability, but I am so proud of the rich and diverse community that I come from. And thirdly is to educate staff and students, able-bodied, disabled, however you wish to identify, to have empowering conversations around disability, both in and out of academics. We need to be seen, we need to be represented, and that is something that I promise I will fight for if I get the position of Disabled Students Officer.
So that's a lot of kind of flowery language, if we like. How are you actually, the student support plans, I get that, that's great.
Yeah.
How are you actually planning on implementing, expanding the DSN? How are you going to do that?
So for me, expanding the DSN, I think particularly would involve perhaps collaborating with other officers on the UC board, such as wellbeing, LGBT, because there's massive intersections, particularly in the disabled to LGBTQ plus community, and I think we should really take advantage of that. And I also want to expand the diversity of events and the outreach of the network in terms of both online and in person. I want the network to be, as a prospective student coming to York, you go, wow, they've got a really solid network for me there, where they do events like they do a coffee morning, they do a casual cocktail, they do a craft or a campaign. I want it to be a real collaborative and diverse community.
And how are you going to make sure events like, a coffee morning is accessible for everybody?
So firstly, I suppose the most important part is picking a venue. You can pick a venue as well. Picking a venue that is accessible to all students, a place where people feel comfortable. So that would be having discussions with the members of that network, showing interest. Who wants to come to this event? Okay, what requirements do you have as individuals, and how can we make the best resolution for everyone? Because the thing is about identifying as disabled, it's such a massive spectrum. And some things that seem so accessible to someone from an outside eye would be a massive barrier to someone. So it's being able to identify who's coming, how we're going to tackle this, and everyone's comfort levels and needs.
That sounds pretty good to me. You've got about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
So what's the one thing you want people to take away from your campaign?
That disabled students have a voice that is loud and clear and proud, and we are so excited to contribute to conversations both in and out of academics, and all we need is for you to listen.
Thank you so much for thank you for coming on and sharing your plan and manifesto with us. We're throwing over to Studio Reds now, I think, for the faculty rep. Yeah.